Let us see some more examples on the chain rule. So, and here we will consider some trig functions, okay? So you see that? So y equals to sine, and then inside that parenthesis there is 2x squared. It is, you can consider this as u, right? So this as u. So it is like y equals to sine u, right? So what is the derivative of sine u? Sine u prime is basically, so it is cosine of u times u prime, right? So what will be y prime then? Let's use that formula for the y prime. So the y prime is basically, y prime is equals to cosine of u times the u prime, right? So that is u prime. So cosine of, what is u? U is 2x squared, right? Times u prime is, what is the derivative of u? So what is the derivative of 2x squared? So 2 will stay the same, so 2 will be the 2 times the derivative of x squared will be 2x to the 2 minus 1, that is the 2x to the 1, right? So basically, so you can write this as 2 times 2 is 4x. I write this at the front, and then write times cosine of 2x squared. See that? So it is similar concept. So here also, what do you think? So you can write this as, so f of x equals to 5. This sine square means like this, right? Sine and then 2x square whole square. That's what it means, right? You see that? So sine square, cosine square, all those trig square means that's the whole thing square. So you will have to use the chain rule twice here. What does that mean? That means, let us think this as like u first. So it is like, so look at this. You can think this as 5 and then sine 2x squared to the whole square as 5 and then u to the square, right? So you can think this as like 5u squared. Now you will have to find out the derivative of that. So what is f prime of x then? F prime of x is equals to 5 times 2u to the 2 minus 1, right? Times, then you do u prime, right? That's what the derivative, right? So because that has x, but u is sine 2x squared. That's a u, okay? So how much would that be? That is 5 times 2 is 10u times, what is u prime? U prime is basically, let me plug in the value of u, sine 2x squared, and that is prime of that, right? You see that? So again, I want to find the derivative of this one, but it is not just sine x, it is like sine u. You see that? So because since we consider that u already, let us consider this as v, and then we will find out the derivative of sine v, okay? So it is 10u, you see that? It is 10u times sine v prime, right? What is the derivative of sine v? It is 10u is there, sine v. The derivative of sine v is cosine of v times the v prime, right? Now we plug in the value of u and v. So what do you get? 10u is sine 2x squared, that is u, times cosine of v is 2x squared, times v prime. What is the derivative of 2x squared? So it is 4x, right? Because it is 2 times 2x, the derivative, right? So that will become v prime is equals to 2 times 2x, that is basically 4x. So this is the final answer. So you can write 10 sine 2x squared times cosine 2x squared, and then times the 4x, that is the or if you want to write, you can write like 40x. You see that? That can be written as 40x times sine 2x squared, you see that, times cosine 2x squared. So you can write that way. So that is the final answer, okay? So how about here? So what do you think? So here fx is cosine sine x squared, you see that? Let us consider this as u. It is, and that become cosine u, right? So you will have fx will be cosine of u, you see that? So f of x is cosine u. So what will be f prime then? So f prime of x will be cosine of u. The derivative of cosine u is negative sine u times u prime, right? What is u prime though? Negative sine u times, let's plug in that value of u. So sine x squared prime, right? But this is, we don't know what is the derivative of sine x squared. If it was just sine x, you would write cosine x, the derivative, right? But there is sine x squared. Again, what you have to do is, again, you need to do another chain rule there. This is like a v, sine v, okay? So how would you write the derivative then? So it is like negative sine u times the derivative of sine v is cosine of v times the v prime, right? So how much would that be? Let's plug in the value of sine u. Negative sine, what is u? It is sine x squared, that is u, times cosine, what is v? V is x squared, right? Times, what is v prime? V is x squared, so v prime will be 2x. So the final answer you can write is negative 2x and then sine x squared, right? And then times cosine of x squared. That is the final answer. Okay, let's look at this one. Find the derivative of y equals to 9 times x squared plus 3x. Let's do this one, times cosine of 3x. Let's do the product. Okay, let's do the product of these. I mean, if it is quotient or the product, we do the similar method. Okay, just use the product rule or the quotient rule there wherever needed, but it's exactly the same concept. So you can think this as like f, this as like g, right? So what is the derivative of f times g? The derivative of f times g is f g prime will be f prime times g plus f times g prime. You see that? So that's what you do. Okay, so let us use the product rule here. You will get 9 is outside of everything, right? So f prime, what is f prime? It is x squared plus 3x to the 5, and prime of that, let me use the curly braces for that, prime of that times g is cosine cube x plus f is x squared plus 3x to the 5 times g prime is cosine of cube x to the prime, and there is a bracket. Why did I use bracket? Because there is 9, so I pull that 9 out and then write bracket for everything. Okay, so here you are trying to find out the derivative of x cubed plus 3x to the 5, right? So you can think this as like u, and here there is a derivative term, so you can write this as cosine of x to the cubed and then prime of that. So you can take this as like u, right? So this thing as u, so u to the, or v, let's say this as v. Okay, so it is basically v cubed prime. You see that? So v cubed prime. So let us do that derivative here. You get 9. Okay, it is u to the 5 prime times cosine cube x, right? And then plus x squared plus 3x to the 5, right? Times, you can do v cubed prime. You see that? So you can think this as already like u to the 5 times v to the cubed and then derivative of that, or you can take that as the whole thing as f and then the whole thing as g, not only x cubed plus 3x with the exponent, the whole thing as f, the whole thing as z here. Okay, so what do you get? So what is the derivative? 9. What is the derivative of u to the 5? It is 5 u to the 5 minus 1 is 4 times u prime times cosine of cube x, right? And then plus, just copy that, x cube plus 3x to the 5 times the derivative of v to the cube is 3, v to the 3 minus 1 is 2 times v prime, and there is a bracket outside. Let's plug in the values there. So that is 9 bracket 5. What is the u? U is x squared plus 3x, right? So x squared plus 3x. Oh, by the way, there is square there. X squared plus 3x to the 4 times, what is u prime? U prime is that the derivative of that one, right? So x squared is 2x plus 3. So 2x plus 3, and then what is the next term is cosine cube x. You see that? And then plus there is x squared plus 3x to the 5, right? And then times 3. V is cosine x, right? Because cosine x is v. So cosine square x. Basically this is cosine x whole square times the derivative of cosine x is negative sine x, and there is a bracket. Now what I want to do here is I want to factor out. I want to take the common factor outside. For example, there is x squared plus 3x to the 4. There is x squared plus 3x to the 5. You can take the power 4 outside, okay? And similarly, there is cosine cube x, there is cosine square x. You can take the cosine square x outside. So if you do that, what do you get? So you will get 9 is there, right? And then x squared plus 3x to the 4. The lower exponent will come out from these two, and then cosine square x. If you take all those out, what is left is there is 5. This is gone there, right? So 5 times 2x plus 3, right? And there is 1 cosine x, cosine of x, and the minus. Why minus? Because that negative goes here, minus. What is left here is 1 of the x squared plus 2x, because 4 of them is taken already to the front. So it is x squared plus 3x to the just 1, right? And then let me write down that 3 outside there, that 3 outside, and then you can write cosine. There is no cosine because cosine square x is already pulled, so that is just sine x, right? You see that? That is just sine x left there. That is the final answer.